For Sean, getting back to training this week, how's it been getting the guys back to work?
Yeah, good. We've had a good start to the week, and we'll finish it off with our final preparations for the game on Saturday. So the players have been good.
Lost Bruno in the warm-up at the weekend. Any update you can give us on him?
Yeah, I think disappointing to lose him. Obviously, I think he'll be out for maybe another week or two. Got to be careful. So early in the season, we don't want to lose him for an extended period of time. So we've got to make sure that we manage it right at the very start, which obviously we've done, and we'll just continue to monitor and treat him, and then get him back as early as we can, but fully fit. We don't want him to come back and risk a longer term injury.
Oliver started for him, his first start. What have you sort of seen from Ollie in the first couple weeks of the season, and what have you sort of been working on with him and his development?
I mean, he's a player with potential, and that's what we've signed, and that's where it's interesting because he's done really well in training and gets to a game, and it's a little bit harder for him, more difficult, and that usually happens with young players. If you counted the minutes up of USL Championship play of Logan, Ollie, Finn McRobb, we've got a group of players that haven't played many minutes, and then we've got a lot of experienced players. So it's basically just trying to get his feet underneath him of, this is the level that you're going to play at. You have to transfer what you're good at in training and transfer it into a game. So it's more of the mindset of not being too nervous, not being too tight, and trying to express himself on the field. And I thought he had a struggle at the start, but then once he got going, I thought he was good, and he ran out of gas a little bit, so that's why we changed him.
Not even just with him, but kind of with younger players and less experienced players. How important is kind of the day-to-day stuff that people don't see in terms of in training with more experienced guys, or even just like around the facility?
Yeah, I mean it's really important. That's why the players who have 10, 15 year playing careers, they have them because they do everything right and everything correct. It's not just about the game, it's about what you do in training, it's about what you do off the field, and and Oliver's a really good young professional. What he needs to do now is transfer what he's good at on the training ground onto the field.
Second home game in a row this weekend against North Carolina. What have you seen from them in the first few weeks of their season?
Obviously, they've had a good start. They're a good team. Play a distinct system of play. With a 3-4-3. They've got players that can create in the final third, and they've got a lot of pace in wide areas. So it's going to be a tough game for us and a challenge. But with an in-conference opponent and a home game, we've got to make sure we try and pick up 3 points.
I think you scored on 2 set pieces against them at home last year. How big of a factor might those play this time around?
Yeah, I mean, set pieces are obviously really important, but again, like injuries, they're random events. You can't predict them. We'll work on them. We'll work a lot with set plays. But you might score 3 in one game and not get another one for the next 5 or 6 games. And it's not through a lack of effort or a lack of trying. It's just sometimes they become random. Everybody now looked at what Arsenal did, and everybody's copying what Arsenal did in the Premier League. And now Arsenal can't even score a goal from a set play in what they do. So it's something that we'll try and surprise the opponent with, not making sure that we're too predictable on our delivery and our set play preparation. And then defensively, it's like any defending action. You've got to stop the ball going in the net, and the way you do that is you get the first contact of the ball, and the second contact, it's not a set play anymore.
Open Cup draw today at 1 o'clock. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about getting back to the competition where you had some success last year?
Yeah, I mean, really good. I mean, the cup competitions are great for the players and they're great for the supporters, and we need to make sure that we, put our best foot forward in that and get through the round. We don't know who we're going to get. I'm sure it'll be a local team, but we know that we're going to be at home, which is obviously with our supporters, it's going to be an advantage for us.
I'm not going to ask you who you want to play, but any matchups outside of maybe our region that you'd like to see?
I don't know. You got to get through this one first, because but once we're in the, with the MLS teams, if we do get through and we have to travel away from home, you'd obviously want to go to one of the big MLS teams because you want to pit yourself against the best in the country. And but we'll wait and see that, because all of the glory that happens at the end in a cup competition only happens because you do the work at the start of the competition. So we can forget about anything that happens at the end. We've got to take care of business in the first round that we play in.